Shakur Stevenson says, "Come shut me up, Gervonta Davis." What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, the newcomer on the block, Shakur Stevenson, recently gave an interview. He has some pretty interesting things to say. Just wanted to break that down really quickly, give my insight if anybody's listening. Alright, so Shakur Stevenson, he's the newcomer to 135. He has a pretty big name as a professional boxer already. You know, prior to his joining 135 and Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney and all the other superstars in the 135-pound division. He wants all the smoke, apparently, with Gervonta Tank Davis. Listen, all these guys, I feel like now, see that Tank is the paycheck.
I saw the check, nigga. I don't want to hear what you thought. Who cares?
And they all want to go where the paycheck is. Tank's going to bring you the most money. Tank's going to bring you in the most eyeballs. Tank's going to get you the most pay-per-view buys. Tank is the man in the sport of boxing at the moment. Now, there might be someone else next year. Might be someone else in a few months. We just don't know. But right now, Gervonta Tank Davis is that man. And Shakur Stevenson says that he feels like Tank won't say his name. And he wants Tank to come shut him up. Say my name. Come put your fist in my mouth. Knock me out if you really can. I think that's kind of funny for him to put it out there like that. But, you know, he's got to do what he has to do as a boxer. Once again, I've said before in the past that the problem with Devin Haney is that he's not entertaining. He's a hell of a boxer. He's got great talent in the boxing ring. He's very dominant. He's just not entertaining. He don't knock his opponents out most of the time. He just drags them into the deep water and drowns them. And that's effective if you enjoy that style of boxing. But the masses of the people want to be entertained for that 30 or 40 minutes, however long the boxing match takes place. They want to see action-packed fights. The reason MMA is so popular, listen to me, the reason MMA is so popular has nothing to do with grappling and wrestling or jiu-jitsu or taekwondo. Half the people that watch it, none of them study those styles. They don't study them. They don't practice them. They're not at home doing that. Now, the hardcore fans might be, but the majority of MMA fans tune in because they want to see somebody get 1, choked out, 2, knocked out, or 3, put in some weird submission hold that they've never seen before.
Yo, that is a prison special.
That is the entertainment value that comes along with MMA, and you get it in pretty much every fight because they demand it in pretty much every fight. They set it up to where all their fights are going to be action-packed. They got the best fighting the best most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. And the fights are action-packed. You know, the rounds are quick. You know, the fights are not super long. They're, I think, only like 3 or 4 rounds or something like that. And it's filled with spectacular moments from beginning to end. And it doesn't matter who you are, Conor McGregor or, you know, whoever, Anderson Silva. At some point, you're going to take a loss. You can't dip and dodge those fights. You got to take on who's the next challenger up in the UFC and the MMA. And that should be crossing over to boxing. Boxing's like, you can avoid the best fights for a very long time. And I think that guys like Devin Haney, who don't really pack a punch, if he wanted to, he could just avoid the best fights his whole career and take on guys he knows he can beat. Gervonta Davis, I feel like a lot of people feel like he's been cherry picking his way to the top. And I want to say one thing.
And I had to put that out there because a lot of niggas doing a lot of fugazi out here, man. You know what I'm saying? These niggas, they flip-floppy, they pitching and they catching. Don't be in front of us and acting like a straight-up G, and then you get over here and you letting these boys bust up your back.
If you think Gervonta Davis cherry-picked his way to the top, or his team is cherry-picking him to the top of the mountain of boxing, then you have to say the same thing about Floyd Mayweather. And I've said in the past, Mayweather cherry-picked a lot of those fights as Money Mayweather. Pretty Boy Floyd had a heck of a record, and he fought the best until he injured his hand. Money Mayweather fought who he had to fight and set it up in the ways that it needed to be set up so he wouldn't lose. And hey, it is what it is at this point. He got to 50-0 or whatever his record is, and he cemented his place in history. However he got there, he got there. And if he did it within the legal and the rules of boxing, you can't hate him for that. No matter how much I might despise, I have a disdain for Mayweather, I'll never say, well, he didn't cement his spot in the sport of boxing. And, you know, that goes for MMA double time because those guys have to fight everybody. But once again, in boxing, you can cherry pick your way to the top. And if you do believe that Gervonta Davis's team is cherry picking him to the top, you got to say the same thing about Floyd Mayweather and pretty much everybody else on PBC. You can't even be a PBC boxing fan at that point. If you feel like they're going to do it for Davis, why ain't they doing it for everybody else? So nobody should be making that argument. You should, you know, respect Gervonta Davis as a hell of a fighter, man. Ryan Garcia gave him his props. You know, he might not have wanted to. He might have felt like that he got cheated or, you know, something was shady about that fight. But at the end of the day, they shook hands and exchanged phone numbers like men. And nobody said that he don't deserve to win. Now, he did go when he was behind closed doors and say that it was this, that, and the third that lost him the fight. But he didn't do it to Gervonta's face. And I think that's indicative of society. We are a society of people that run behind computers and talk behind each other's back and backbite one another daily, and we don't do it to one another's face. And the real people out here are the ones that do it right up in your face and then dare you to do something about it. Because if my opinion is what I truly believe in, you know, I'm going to state it in front of anybody who's standing in front of me. And if you disagree, you need to give me a better argument or a reason to agree with you. You know what I'm saying? And don't do it behind closed doors. Do it in my face. And I feel like Shakur Stevenson is entertaining. That's what I'm getting back to. Devin Haney is not really entertaining, man. Shakur Stevenson is entertaining. He's out here doing what he has to do, almost like the way that kind of like Teofimo Lopez did Vasily Lomachenko to get that fight, and he ended up beating Vasily and becoming champion, and then he got destroyed by George Kambosos. You know, it is what it is, but you have to be entertaining. You got to give people a reason to tune in and want to check you out and want to, you know, believe in your career. And I think that Devin Haney has all the in-ring intangibles. He just doesn't have like a finishing move, for lack of a better word. Gervonta Davis's knockouts, and I'm going to end here, it's his finishing move. You know, that's what excites people. That's what gets people wanting to tune in and wanting to buy Tank of fights and Tank of Pearl. That they want to believe in Gervonta Tank Davis and what he does and his abilities. Now, people believe in Devin Haney, but Devin Haney don't got no finishing move, man. He don't got no entertainment factor, no wow value. And without that, it's going to be hard for him to ever sell. And Shakur Stevenson now calling out Gervonta Tank Davis is his way of Teofimo Lopezing the game and getting popular and getting his name out there and trying to build something and make himself seem, you know, even if he loses, larger than life and making people want to tune in. And it's funny because people keep saying that Gervonta Davis's record is padded. I feel like a lot of these guys' records are padded, especially when half of their fights are in-house fights. You know, they're not cross promotion fights. You know, everybody's record is padded at this point. So nobody should be throwing stones at Gervonta Davis and then hiding their hands unless they're prepared to get a stone thrown back at them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Shakur Stevenson, is he capping or is he the real deal? And he's going to knock Gervonta out. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feel free to hit my Gmail. It is flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are live.
Let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go. Hey yo, brand new money, what you know about it? Niggas wanna claim they bout it, I doubt it. Got your house surrounded, you don't wanna come about it. It's lonely at the top, but at the bottom it's crowded. A nigga ain't eating a week, yet and still got a pocket full of bread, then you're probably a beast. If you're eating every day of the week, but you ain't got $1 to your name, then you're probably a leech. Preach, thank the Most High for making me most flies. Okay, wash on the fat boy dad. I know you got something on your mind, don't try it. I got something in the rats in your head, bone flying for sure. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. You know I stack it, don't spin it, own it, don't rent it. Wait a damn minute, I'ma show 'em how to get it. Come on, let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. You can hear the cop sirens and the shots firing. Niggas looking for jobs, but they not hiring. You gotta take it all in your own hands. What you on, bruh? I got my own plans. Get my own land, please move along, man. If you can't respect the fact that I'm a grown man, and I ain't playing going hard in the paint for my niggas that wanna go hard, but they can't. So I guess I'm going triple hard. I get your girlfriend's nipples hard. Never leave home without my pimpin' card. So please put my name on the wall. That's the greatest of all. Put my name on the brawl. If I lay in the wrong, what I'm saying to y'all, Lucas Keys ain't playing with y'all. Middle finger, what I'm waving to y'all. Give a damn if you say hi. Super low, yet I stay high. Lucas Keys. Let me see you go. Let me see you go. Get it. Let me see you go. Let me see you go. You know I stack it, don't spin it. Own it, don't rent it. Wait a damn minute, I'ma show 'em how.